Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic and another puzzle by James Kopp. These are always good fun. James is very reliable. And look at the picture here. These are brilliant, presumably tropical green and blue fish. What is it? Damselfish or chromis or something that might be this colour. Anyway, one has a black eye and one has a white eye today. We will see how this plays as a puzzle. I'm really looking forward to giving it a go. It looks incredibly clever. And I will, however, tell you not to forget that you can try our Line Sudoku app on the links under the video and amongst all our other apps. Line Sudoku is brilliant because it has a number of puzzles with pictures in, amongst other things. Maybe nothing quite as pictorial as this, but there are some superb puzzles in it. Many do feature German Whisper and equal sum lines as well, so they're jolly good fun. Do check out Line Sudoku especially. And what else we got? We've got, of course, Patreon, where we've got our Skojojobo puzzle hunt on at the moment, the CTC clone pack, and loads of extra content on Patreon all the time. We welcome you there if you can join us. And we've also got, of course, our merch and Sven's Sudoku pad on the links under the video. But the first link is to this puzzle by James, and I'm going to go through the rules now. They're very straightforward if you've watched our videos before. Normal Sudoku rules apply. 1 to 9 go in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Adjacent digits along a green line, such as these two, must have a difference of at least 5. That is the normal German Whisper rule. Along a blue line, box borders divide the line into segments that have the same sum. So that segment of this blue line will be the same total as that segment, and as that segment, and as that segment. This line may well have a different sum for its 3 segments. Cells separated by a black fish eye or a black dot have a ratio of 1 to 2. 1 is double the up. Cells separated by a white dot are consecutive or have a difference of 1. And those are the rules. Give it a try. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this plays out, but I'm going to start now. Let's get cracking. And do we start with the fish or the other lines? I think we start with the fish. This digit is equal to the sum of 3 different digits in box 5. So this is 6, 7, 8 or 9. The same's true here, and in fact these two are the same. So maybe we'll give them a little bit of colour, because on this blue line it's obviously the same total everywhere. Okay, well we can't have a 7 or a 9 on a black dot. So this yellow cell has now become 6 or 8, and on the other side we've got 3 or 4. And now we see that 6 won't work. So we get a digit in this puzzle in the first minute. Hurrah. 6 won't work because it would make that cell a 3, but it would also make this group of cells 1, 2 and 3, and that would require too many 3s in box 2. So we've got 8 as the yellow digit, and I can get rid of that yellow colour straight away. Now these 3 cells must be 1, 2, 5 because they can't have a 4 in, and 5 can't go on the green line. Now, we know a few things about green lines. 5 can never go on them, as we've just seen. There's no digit that can be next to it. They must therefore alternate between digits higher than 5 and digits lower than 5. And sometimes 4 and 6 are difficult to place. But we now know this is low. And the alternation, oh look, the 8 would have told me exactly how the alternation went. I hadn't spotted that first. Right, so this is low, 1, 2 or 3. This is high. I'm going to include 6 as a possibility on both of these lines. This one, oh, well, these two add to that. So that is now 1 or 2, and we've got a pair in the row. Ooh, it's quite difficult for these cells to be low in row 3 now, but not impossible. Can we move on to this line? Well, this can't be 8 anymore. Now, is there something? Yes, there is something to stop this being a 6. This can't be a 1, 2, 3 set because of that cell. If you made this 1, 2, 3 in box 5, you can't fill that anymore. So this is not a 6. This is 7 or 9. And that's the sum of this pair and this trio. How could this be high? Okay, it couldn't. If this digit was high, given that it's in part of a sum to 9, it would have to be a 6 with a 1-2 pair there. Remember that, because if that was a 6, that would have to be a 1 on the green line, and with that 1-2 pair there, that's impossible. So this is low. We can do the alternation of low digits now on this fish green line. And if that's high, this is definitely low. In fact, this is now high. It's got to be 6 or 7. I suppose this could still just be 7. 1 or 2, well, maybe even 3 there. That's annoying. But that's 6 or 7, so this is 1 or 2, because that's all that 6 or 7 can be next to. In fact, this one is next to both of those digits, and they're different. So it can't be 6, or else 6 would be next. Oh, no, 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 it's not green there, so that's nonsense. Sorry. Oh, bother. However, this can't be 6. Because you can't make both of those into 1, and they're both on the green line. They're in the same column. So that is 7 or 9. This is now even 6 or 8. Might as well colour it high. That's low. And look, we've got 4 lows in column 4, so that has to be a 5. What a weird... Yeah, that is right. That is right. Interesting. So that's low as well. So it's worth colouring these cells off the lines high or low, because they can give us information. In fact, all of those are now high. This is, both of these are 1, 2, or 3 in the column, and that gives me a triple in box 5, in which one of those has to be a 3, so that isn't. That doesn't do anything for this number. That's also high. And that's high. And now I've got 4 highs in this column, so that's low. And these two are high on the alternation principle. This one can't be a 4 because they would both have to be 9. So this is 1, 2, or 3, and we've got a triple up here now. And we've got a pair, a 6, 7 pair that I hadn't seen before. So that's a 9. Now that makes this digit 4, 5, or 6, because these are both low ones. The most they can add up to together is 5. So that is 4, 5, or 6. I can't possibly colour that. That is, okay, we've got either 6 or 7 plus 1 or 2 to make 8. Oh, right. Well, there's one way this won't work, and that's if this goes 6, 2, 8, because then that's 7, and this has to be another 2 to make 9. So that is 7, this is 1, that's 6, this is 3 to make the sum work, that becomes 2. That 1 has made this into a 2, that makes this 1, that 2 makes this into a 1, actually so did that 6. These can't be a 1 now, and that must be. This isn't being helped at all, this digit, but never mind. We've got a lot of other stuff done. This can't be a 6 by Sudoku now. And these two add up to 8. Now they have to both be as high as they can be to make this 9 sum. So I can fill in 3 and 5. That becomes a 2. This can't be 6 on the green line, but it can be anything else. I've kind of finished with the fish, as long as I obey these candidate pencil marks. Oh, no, I haven't. That 3 is on the green line, so that's 9, that's 8. Now maybe, finished with the fish. 6, 7, and 9 here. Now, let's have a look here. These aren't allowed to be 6, and they can't be 9, so that's a 7, 8 pair. There's a 4, 5 pair to complete column 7. It's very neatly done, isn't it? I mean, it's a really elegant bit of stuff from James, as usual. He can absolutely be relied on to give us something really entertaining and mostly very solvable. But we haven't finished at all. I don't want to be sounding like I'm gloating, because, I mean, there's many an instance in which pride comes before a fall. Now, these, can they both be high? Ah, it's interesting. If these were both high, okay, the first thing I'm noticing is 1, 2, and 4 have been used in this row. So the only low digit available here is 3. Therefore, at least one of these is high. And I'm saying if both of them were high, they'd have to be 9 and 7. So these, yeah. So we can only select from 9, 7, and 3 in these cells. These, which can't be 1, would be low digits. If these were 9 and 7, these would have to be 2 and 3. You can't put 4 here because 9 would be on both its sides. So if they're low, they're 2 or 3. And if they're high, well, if one of these is a 3, it's surrounded by 8 and 9, but they would be different either way. If this was a 3, 8 would have to be there because of this 8, and 9 would be there. If this was a 3, that couldn't be 8 or 9. This can't be a 3. This must be high. Aha. So that's definitely low, 2 or 3. Now that doesn't resolve this side. If that is high, 7 or 9, this sees 2 and 3, but it could be 1 or 4. So, okay, let's work on this one. Rather surprisingly, we established the high-low in the left-hand line first. So that's 1, 3, or 4. This is high, not 8, and it can't be 6, since that can't be 1. So now we have a 7, 9 pair. And now this can't be 3, because it would be touching a 7 on one side or the other. So that's a 2. That's not a 2. One of these is low and is definitely 3. I haven't got this one fixed at all. Okay, so now we'll go back over to the right-hand line. Also, there's a 2 by Sudoku in one of those positions and a 1 in one of those. Oh, come on, can we sort this out? That's a very flimsy digit, so I probably can't resolve that. Ah, I'm just seeing if this digit is high, it would have to be a 7. And this would be 2 and 1 in that order. But this could be low. Yeah, I don't think I've got the information I need to sort that one out. So where am I meant to be going for information now, James? There's a 3 somewhere there. There's an 8. We've done that. 2 and 1. There's not many repeat digits in these top rows. That can't be a 7, I've only just noticed because of this. Sorry for my obliviousness to that. Oh, 3 is in one of those cells. Where does 3 go in this box? Not there now. It must be right here. Also, I'm just noticing 8 is there and in one of those 2. So one of these 2 is an 8, definitely. That can't be by Sudoku. Yes, okay. So we've definitely got an 8 and a 3 here. And that is one of them, and the other one is touching it. Ah, it doesn't quite resolve everything. If this cell was 8, that would be 3. I think this would have to be 2. If this cell was 3, that would be 9, and this would have to be 8. So this is 2 or 8. These are very constrained, but I cannot quite resolve them, or which way round this line is. Very peculiar. Right, now we've got 2 and 3 there, and also 9 and 8 looking at this cell. So if it's high, it's 7, and if it's low, it's 1. If it's 7, this is 2 and that's 1. So there must be a 1 in one of those 2 cells. And we know there's a 1 in one of those 2 cells. That uses up the 1s for columns 2 and 3. The 1 in column 1 is in box 4 in one of those 2. Okay, if this is 1 though, This could be the last high digit in row 7, making up a 6, 7, 8 triple, but this could be any high digit, I think. So I can colour that blue. That's about the only cell I haven't actually coloured that I know. Okay, 1 and 6 in box 9 are in these cells. 1 is indeed in one of those, 6 is in one of those. So this can't be a 1 anymore. Now, 4 is always quite constrained. Can this be a 4? We would be going 4, 9, 3, 8. And if it's a 9, we're going 9, 3, 8, 2. I don't know. I don't see why it can't be 4, 9, 3, 8. I feel like there's probably a reason. And I can't see it. Okay, so I've got to find something else, like 2 in this box, in box 8. 2 is definitely there. 2 in box 7 is in one of those 2 positions. 3 in box 8 is now in one of those 2. 3 in box 2 is in one of those 2. Oh, 9 in column 2 is now in one of those 2. It's not quite resolving anything. One, 2, 3, 5 is somewhere over here. Feels like this has to be 4, but actually I've still got a high digit to place, so that is not resolved. 2, 3, 5, 8, 1, 6 is in one of those. 5, 1, 4, 2. Ah, I'm just missing one connection here somewhere. I wonder what it is. Or okay, if that was 7, that would make this a 1. Ah, if this was 9, it would make this a 3. If that was 9, it would make this 9. I can't see the problem again. Ooh, if this was 9, that would be 7. 7 here in box 2 would be there, and that would be a 3. This would say 3, 1, 7, 9, 5, 2 there. No, not quite done. Is it something to do with this group, which must have 3 and 8 on, must have 9 on in one of these cells? That's quite interesting. I haven't thought about that before. But I don't know which box, so it does mean both of these can't be 9, so one of them's a 7. Ah, now here is why I find that very interesting suddenly. These can't both be 9, as one of these has to be 9. Therefore, one of these is 7, at least one, it could be both, but that means this cell can't be 7. And once that cell can't be 7, in box 2, well, I can't limit 7 to one of more than 3 cells, but that is nonetheless very important because it makes this corner a 9. And that's 7, and now this has to be 1 on the whisper. And now we're going to get a 1 specifically here. It can't be there because we've got 1 limited down here. And now I'm hoping this is going to limit other things. I'm not sure. 9, 2, 7, 1. This is 4 or 8 by Sudoku, I think. 3 in this column has to be in one of those cells. So, well, we already knew it couldn't be on the green line, actually, although I hadn't processed that particularly. 9, 2, 7, 3, 8, 1. How about this row? Oh, sorry, row 3. 7, 8, 4, 2, 1. That can't be 3. No, I don't think that's the way forward. There is a 3 in one of these cells. 9, 8, 3, 5, and 6. I thought this would be getting easier at this point, and it really isn't. Very clever, James. 8. No, we've looked at that. And 3, 5, 6, 1. Okay, that can't be 9. So one of these two is 9, and one of these two. It's probably a naked single sitting somewhere. One of those two's a 2. 9 is in one of these 3. I did look at that. I didn't think it helped. Oh, 7 has now been confined to one of those two. That's probably been the case for literally ages. 8, 6, 1, 3, 7 there. 2 is somewhere down here. So that is 4, 5, or 9. Oh, this should be getting easier. Has everything on most of the lines been done? Yes. Still got that line and this line to figure out. So what would happen now if that was a 7 with a 2 here and a 1 here? We'd get a 1 there, we'd get a 2 here. The 7 itself wouldn't be very powerful. No, I'm not picking up what to do from that. Okay, let's look in column 1 again. 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 to place. That's 4, 5, or 6. That's totally uninteresting bit of pencil marking. This can't be 3. It's 5, 6, or 9. I'm not even going to bother to pencil mark that because I know how useless it is. Okay, I've got to look at this again. 4, 9, 3, 8 would make this a 4. That would be 5. This would be 4, 6, 9. 5 and 2. I don't know. Hang on. Something's wrong with that. 4, 9, 3, 8 here. Something's wrong with 2's. If that was 9, 3, 8, the 4 there makes that a 4 and this a 5. If that's 4, 9, 3, 8, this is 5, 7, 1. Oh, this is 2, 4, 6. Now I think I've just miscalculated. And this ends up being a 5, 9 pair, which is possible. So there is nothing wrong with that. I just got it wrong. Sorry, you're shouting something at the screen now, and I can't hear what it is. I know there's a 9 in one of those two. So if this is a 1, I haven't really thought that one through, but it seems so flexible that I didn't really want to. Well, it would force that to be a 2, so we'd have a 1, 2 pair here. But I can't see how that's impacting the solve at all. Definitely finished all the blue lines. We've definitely finished the 2 dots. I've finished all the green lines, apart from this, which has exactly 2 ways it can be made up, and this, which is quite constrained if that's a 7, but not so constrained if this is a 1. So I should look at the constraints if this is a 7. That's what I should do. If this is a 7. Oh, I've also... No, these 7 could be there. What about this, which can't be 7, 3, 5, 1, 4, or 2? Can it be any of 6, 8, 9? Yes, I think it can. Goodness me, I'm very stuck. And I don't think this is the sort of puzzle where I ought to be. But then again, James often gives us a sting in the tail. Maybe like these tropical fish would do that are swimming in the reeds. 8, 6, 1, 3. Let's go back to box 6. 7 there. 2 is definitely in one of these cells. So let's, okay, I kept considering 4938 as the difficult case. Maybe it's the other way around. With 3 there, we're going 9382. That would have to be 9 and 2 then. No, this is impossible. What? No, I'm wrong. If this goes 9382, it's only 2 I have to find a home for in box 6. 9382, those would be from 4, 5 and 7. That's all too doable. 9382. 8 would put 8 up here, as well as 1, 2, and as well as 7, and potentially 6. 9, I know, is definitely in one of these cells. Ah, my goodness, I cannot see my way out of this impasse. 9, 2, 7, 1, 8, 4. I haven't got many 4s going in the grid at all. This is 4, 6 or 7. Okay, now the thing I didn't really focus on was, if that was a 1, then we've got all our 4 high cells done here. And then that couldn't be 6. This would be a 1, 6 pair. That would be 4 or 5. If this was a 1 and this was high, these would be looking very constrained to me. One, 6, 7, 8, 9. That would be a 2. So 1, 2 would be there. That would be 4 or 5. But this also 3, 4 or 5. And I don't see how this high digit is putting pressure enough on anything. I've got this 9 pair and a 9 pair here. 3 in one of those two and one of those two. It's an X-wing on 3s. Goodness, I don't know. I'm sorry. This is feeling very embarrassing at this point. 3 is definitely in one of those. 8 is definitely in one of those. 7's definitely somewhere here. If that's a 9, this is a 7. Now, does that do anything? I don't think it does anything interesting at all. That's my feeling. And if it does, and I'm just missing it, well, ouch. 1, 2, 3, 8 in one of these. Can 8 be there? I think it can. I don't see why not. Okay, let's go back to thinking about the possibility of that being 7 with 2 and 1 here. That would make this a 1. One, 2, 3, 7. I don't know. I don't see why this is tricky. But that must be the most constrained state. Oh, and the 1 there that would, sorry, the 7 here would make this a 2, 9, 1 triple. That would definitely make that a 2 and that a 1. 2, 8, 9, 7 up column 3. 3 would have to be, I'm not sure. I was going to say have to be here, but I don't know that. 7 there makes this 2, 9, 1. That feels like quite a constrained thing. Then whatever these digits were would also be in these cells. And they couldn't include 8. And they'd have to go in these cells. Can't be about these 2 digits. If they do include 8, then 8 has to be in one of these. But that's okay. Ah, I'm missing one thing here, and it would finish the puzzle. What is it? 9, 2, 3, 1, 7. It better not be just a blatant German whisper move or something. No, I don't think it is. If it is a blatant German whisper move, it's either on this line or this one, and I don't see how I'm clearly missing something obvious there. 7, 3, 8, 2, 9. 1, 6, and either 4 or 5. So if 4 was here, this would have to go 9, 3, 8, 2. This would be 1, 6, 4, and this would be 7, 5. So that would be 4, 7, 5, 9, and 2. Ah, this doesn't work. Right, have I stumbled on something finally here? If this was, I don't know, what I'm working on now is that this can't be a 9-2 pair, because you'd have to put 4, 5, 6 here, and that would break this cell. Two there, though. I don't think this ever tries to be a 9-2 pair in retrospect, so I think I've missed the point again. If that's a 2 and that's a 9, obviously 9's in one of those cells and 2 is here. So if that's a 2, that's a 2. One of those is a 2, and we've got a 2 here. And if that's a 2, 2's in one of these cells, and we've got even more scope for 2 in box 4. I cannot see how this resolves. 7, 8, 3, 1. Okay, so if that's a 9, we've got 3, 8, 2. We've got 9 there and 2 there then. 9, 3, 2. These are 4, 5, 7. And whichever one of those is 4 or 5 is also there and also up here. And it's, okay, let's colour 4s and 5s against each other. Green there and purple here. Now, purple is in one of these cells. So in this column, green is in one of these two. This is 4s and 5s I'm colouring against each other. So green's in one of those 3, purple's in one of those 3. I don't see how this is actually going to go anywhere now, but I have to try something. That's green, so obviously this is green and purple in some order. One of these is green. That is either green or purple, very clearly. Does this have to be one of them? No, because that could be green and purple. Does one of these have to be 9? If that's not 9, that's 9. And then that has to be 9. Oh, that's interesting. Right. 9 is definitely in one of those cells. If that is not 9, that's 9. And then the only place for 9 in box 6 is here. So one of these is a 9, and that makes this cell a 7. And that no, it doesn't fix 7 at the top. It's in one of those 2 now. It does stop that being a 7. This probably isn't going to go very far. But 9 is now in one of those 2 cells. And one of these 2. And it has to be there. Oh my goodness, this does get it unwound. And that 9 is now looking across to this cell. Wow. Okay, let's get rid of all the green and purple, because that was just a sidetrack. We'll keep the high and low, although it probably won't be necessary anymore, because we've now completed this line. That's a 5-6 pair. Right, this might make a huge difference. 2 is definitely here now. And now 2's in one of those cells. 2, 8, 3, 7, 1. These are from 4, 5, 6, 9. This is 6 or 7, and this is now an 8. This is, in fact, that is a 6. It's sitting right next to a 7, so that's 7. These are a 6, 9 pair. That makes this on the line an 8. That's now a 4 because it sees the 6, 9 pair. That's a 6. I think we're going to just finish off now and wonder why we had to sweat so much to deal with this puzzle. Very clever puzzle. James has done it again. And he's done me like a kipper is the appropriate phrase for this puzzle. 1, 6 there, 3, 4 there. This is a 4, 7 pair. Can't resolve these, but it probably won't matter. This is now a 1, 5, 6 triple. That 8 has resolved this 7, 8 pair. Now, has this got done yet? I don't think so. This is a 3, 6 pair. This is not 6. This is 4 or 5, 3, 5, 9. I mean, I'm sure we are progressing now. 9, 7 and 1 all have to be in this group of cells. Eight is in one of these two. It's not on the line, so if that was a 1, this is a 6 now. And if that's a 7, this is a 2. 2 or 6 there. Goodness, okay, we're not finished, but we are doing a lot better. This is a 3, 5, 7 triple. And that's not 7 and that's not 3. 7, 9, there's something breaking in this row. 4 is in one of those two cells in row 7, which is strange. Oh, there's a 6 X-wing there and there, so that's not a 6, and that's very important suddenly. This does go 2, 7, 1. That goes 5, 3, 7. The 1 goes here. Looking along this row, we've got 6, 8 and 9 to place. You're wishing I'd kept colouring now, but I don't think it really matters. 3 has gone there. That's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. 3, 1, 2, 7, 8. This is not 9, so there's only one place for 9 in the bottom row. That 6 fixes row 8 in its entirety. That fixes column 1 in its entirety. 4, 5 pair there makes that 3, 4. That fixes 6, 3. That fixes 1, 6. And this unwinds as elegantly as every James Cop puzzle does. Isn't it brilliant how he does it so consistently? 5 there and a 4 to finish. And that is swimming in the reeds. I really struggled for about 10 or 15 minutes over finding, well, I loved this step that one of those had to be a 7, so we got that not to be a 7. But that wasn't the hardest step. The hardest step came from seeing that one of those had to be a 9. And that took me a long time. Great fun though, and another marvellous puzzle. Thank you for watching as always on the channel. It's a pleasure to have your company, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.